Welcome back. It is Tuesday, December 5th in the NBA. My three favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday. A solid 2-1 day on a 6-1 run in the NBA. Let's talk about it. Halliburton's over in points plus assists. He got it done. Crazy second half for him, but you guys got to relax. I got so many DMs saying it was chalked at halftime. Guys, there's two halves in a game for a reason. Halliburton always delivers. He is capable of having those crazy halves, and he did just that. Ended up with his first career triple-double. Speaking of triple-doubles, Domantas Sabonis also had a triple-double. Ridiculous that our two props got a triple-double. Don't know what the odds of combining both of those were, but probably pretty good odds. He got it done, and then we did have a six-leg parlay that did lose. The one loser was Zion Williamson's over. We needed 20-plus points from him. He was one of the only six legs that lost. Now, normally I'd be pissed at Zion, but if you watch that game, you'd see the Kings basically said, all right, we'll let anyone else score but Zion. They basically were triple teaming him on any drive, and if he didn't pass, he was getting an offensive foul, so he had to pass, and he ended up hitting his over an assist, but didn't get many points last night. Also didn't play a ton of minutes because they didn't really need him out there. But either way, a 2-1 day, we'll take that. Let's continue that momentum going on into Tuesday. We only have two games on again, two more in-season tournament games. We have a full NBA slate tomorrow, but let's dive into the picks, though. As always, if you are new, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 200K subscribers by the end of the year, and that would be awesome if we can get there. I think we're about 9,000 something away from it, so hopefully if you are new, hit that subscribe button down below. Let's dive into the picks today. We're going to start with the first one involving my New York Knicks as they're on the road in Milwaukee. I actually have two picks in this game. We'll start with the first one. His name is Damian Lillard. I like his over 24.5 points minus 120 on Bet365. A lot of books do have this at 25.5, and that has my stamp of approval. I love Dame tonight. I think he has a big matchup and a big night tonight because they kind of need him out there to score a lot of points. And look, I think if Dame hits 24.5, pretty good chance he scores 25.5 too. Now, look, this is really the biggest first, normal test for Dame to go out there and show up. There's a reason they brought him in Milwaukee. It's to win games like this. And Lillard, you look at him so far this season, scored 25 plus points in 12 of 18 games, including 30 versus the Knicks earlier this season. Now, earlier this year, when they played the Knicks, their offense was kind of in an absolute mess. They've kind of figured it out a little bit more as of late, and I really like this matchup for Dame because the Knicks are going to try at least to stop one thing. It's going to be very similar to what the Kings did with the Pelicans. They're going to try to stop Giannis as best as they can because if you let Giannis get going, get layups, dunks, and stuff, put your team in foul trouble, you're in a bad spot. So I think they're going to try to double Giannis any drive he takes, and I think we're going to need Dame from the outside to really exploit this Knicks defense. And we already saw him drop 30 versus them earlier this season. While I don't necessarily know if he scores 30 tonight, this is just the matchup I think they need him to beat the Knicks from the outside, which is normally where you beat the Knicks, not a team that gives up a ton of points in the paint. And we've seen Lillard kind of dominate this Knicks matchup in his last four against them, 39, 29, 38, and 30 points. Now he shot 17, 20, 26, and 15 field goal attempts. Now, obviously, some of those games were as a member of the Blazers when he had the ball in his hand a ton, but it's not like he was shooting 29 times in all those games. I mean, 20 field goal attempts in three of those four, perfectly reasonable for me to expect him to shoot 20 times tonight. And we know how talented Lillard is. We know he can get to the free throw line 15 times. And heck, if the Bucks are leading and you get to the free throw game at the end, guess who's getting the ball? It's Damian Lillard, and we know he's capable of getting to the free throw line a ton. Maybe the shots aren't falling, he can get to the line, but we've just seen in his last 12 games, 16 field goal attempts in 11 of 12. He's averaged 26.9 points per game in these last 12, going over this line in 9 of 12. I'd be shocked if Damian Lillard does not come out firing tonight. They're at home. I expect him to shoot pretty well tonight, and we know he's going to play a lot of minutes. If this game's close, we could see him approach 40 minutes tonight, but I think he's locked in for at least 36 minutes. Not really a guy, knock on wood, that gets into foul trouble a ton, so I really like him. The Knicks are a tougher matchup on guards, but look, they're going to need to pick one or the other, and I think they're going to pick Giannis, trying to stop him. I think they'll let Damian Lillard knock down shots from 30 feet, and I think he's perfectly capable of doing that. So we'll take his over 24.5 points. I really like Damian Lillard tonight. I think he has a big night. Now, my second play, it's going to be a two-leg same-game parlay. It has a very easy pivot, but it involves two guys I actually like tonight. Let's start with these two fellas. Jalen Brunson, 20-plus points, and Chris Middleton, over 3.5 rebounds. Now, this is plus 100 on DraftKings. Now, before people come out from the Bet365, the offshore, the European books that say, Austin, I only have 3, 5, and 7. Chris Middleton's regular over is 3.5 rebounds. However, it was just a little bit too juiced for me to make it a one-unit play. It was about minus 140, minus 150 on most books. Now, if it bumps up to 4.5, you can complain all you want, but I don't necessarily know if it will bump up that high. And if it does, then figure out the best way to pivot. But I really like Brunson tonight to score points, and I also like Middleton to grab some rebounds, which let's just start with Middleton and talk about him first, because Chris Middleton, you look at him so far this season, 4 rebounds in 7 of 9 games with at least 20 or more minutes. He has 5+ and all those 7 games, and he has 3+ rebounds in all 9 games with 20 or more minutes. He had 9 rebounds versus the Knicks earlier this season in 21 minutes. Now, obviously, Middleton has come into the season with a minutes restriction. Who knows when that gets lifted? Probably still a couple more weeks before that. However, we have quietly seen his minutes start to uptick. We saw him play 25 minutes the past couple games. Would not surprise me again tonight if he plays at least 25 minutes. And maybe if it's a really tight game, maybe they say, you know what, let's try to squeeze a couple more minutes from Middleton, try to get him up to 30 plus. Look, it's not like they're playing him 40 minutes. I'm not saying Middleton's playing 40 minutes, and heck, by the end of the year, he probably will in big-time games. But at this point and moment, he's playing about 25 to 30 minutes, and I really like this spot for him because you think about him rebounding the basketball. He's going to not guard Brunson. He's not guarding Julius Randle, and that's half the Knicks shot attempts. Maybe more than half. They're going to fire it up. So maybe he guards RJ Barrett or Josh Hart, a guy that kind of camps in the paint a little bit or camps in the corner, and I think he'll be on the weak side for a lot of rebounds, hence why he already had 9 versus the Knicks before. So I really like Middleton's over in rebounds. I almost took his over in rebounds plus assists, which is 7.5, but I'll just trust him to grab 4 boards tonight, something he's done really well. Quietly a very good rebounder for the forward position. Now, on the other side, we need Jalen Brunson to score 20 points, and honestly, I think this might be a free square tonight, knock on wood. Jalen Brunson does have 20 plus in only 14 of 19 games, but he has scored 44 and 45 in his last 2 versus the Bucks. We've talked about this time and time again. I feel like a broken record. The Bucks cannot guard guards. We've talked about it again. Trae Young destroyed them. Brunson's destroyed them before, and I was going to take Brunson's over in points, but it keeps going up and up and up. It's like at 26.5, probably going to end at 27.5 today. Well, I think Brunson could hit that over. I rather just trust him to score 20. Look, if he doesn't score 20 tonight, the Knicks probably lost by 35 points. That's just the name of the game. They need him out there. He's going to play a ton of minutes. He's going to fire up a ton of shots, gets to the free throw line. Malik Beasley cannot guard him. Jalen Brunson will get to his spots tonight, and he will knock down those shots. That's just what he does. He's a big-time gamer. He showed up big time in the playoffs last year versus the Miami Heat, a much better defensive team than this version of the Milwaukee Bucks. Brunson will get you 20 plus. I think this comes down to Chris if he grabs 4 reps, and I really like his matchup. If he grabs 4 rebounds at plus 100, I like the same game parlay. Now, let's move on to the second game, and I don't have a long shot, if you will, same game parlay today. I just have 3 plays that I really do like. Let's go 3-0 and dominate them, playing all of them for each one unit. My third and final play of the day will be a guy that is on the thumbnail. His name is Kevin Durant. We're taking us over 48.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 110 on BetMGM. I would take this at 41.5. I think that's great. If the line does bump up to 41.5, check out his points plus rebounds line. If the difference is 6 there, take his points plus rebounds line. Now, I do think Durant has actually done a really good job assisting his teammates, so he could get a lot of assists tonight, but I really like his matchup for rebounds and points too. And like, I went back and forth. I know a lot of people are going to be on Booker today, his PRA line, but I think Durant's in a little bit of a better spot. Now, Durant's last 7 games with Devin Booker. Obviously, we don't want to really look too hard into games that Booker was not there, but last 7 with Booker, he's averaged 32.6 points per game, 5.9 rebounds per game, and 6.7 assists per game. That's pretty good. 45.2 PRAs. We need 41. Now he has hit this over in 5 of those 7 games. One of his misses, he did land on 40 PRAs on the dot, on the hook. Then Durant has averaged 36.4 minutes per game and 20.4 field goal attempts per game in that stretch. Now, obviously, we look at the numbers. Really, his rebounds are really surprising, being at just 5.9. I really like this matchup for him for rebounds. Now, maybe he guards LeBron. I'm not necessarily sure who they let him guard, but either way, he's done a really good job rebounding the basketball against the Lakers in his career, especially over the last couple matchups against them. So I really like the rebounds tonight at like 6.5, but I also think we know Kevin Durant. He's capable of scoring 35 points any given night. And in a game, must-win game for the Suns team, he's going to play a lot of minutes tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if he approaches a double-double, whether it's in rebounds or assists, because he's got the ball in his hands a ton. And while Booker, sure, he'll have the ball in his hands too, but they like to stagger their minutes. And we've seen Booker in 2 games versus LA this season. Durant had 52 PRAs in both of them last year, 47 PRAs versus the Lakers as a member of the Nets. Now, worth noting, Devin Booker did not play in either of those 2 games. So obviously, Durant's usage, which saw like 28, 29 field goal attempts in those 2 games, are going to go down. But at the same time, Booker's going to get him some more easy looks. I mean, you think about when Booker's not on the floor, Durant's kind of having to work a little bit harder for all of his looks. And while it's still Kevin Durant, he can shoot over anyone in the NBA and he can make any shot on the floor. It still is worth noting that Booker can make his life a little bit easier. That's Booker's role as the point guard of this team. And even in one of those games, Bradley Beal did play. He shot 17 times. So it's not like he didn't. It was just Durant's show and it was his ball in his hands 24/7. I just think that this is going to be a great matchup for Durant to do his thing. LeBron James probably guards him, but if he doesn't, I honestly don't really care who guards Durant. He can do his thing against anyone. But Durant, he's just been super, super good this season. Super good with Booker in the lineup, and also on the road with the playoffs. Not a playoff type atmosphere. We're going to see a lot of we'll see if the Phoenix got role players show up. I wouldn't bet on them showing up on the road. So I really think this is a game Booker and Durant have to dominate. They'll play a lot of minutes. They'll stagger their minutes a little bit so they're not on the floor 24/7, and sometimes they're not on the floor. One of those guys will be on the floor all 48 minutes tonight. So I really like Durant, the stuff, the stat sheet. I liked his over in points and rebounds, but he's also quietly been doing a really good job facilitating for his teammates. So it wouldn't surprise me if he somehow got like 6 or 7 assists. He has the ball in his hands a ton. So we'll take his over in PRAs, my third and final play of the day. I don't mind Booker's over in PRAs. I personally wouldn't take both of them. Probably just pick one, and I think Durant's the better play tonight. But both obviously are really good. Booker could his PRA line, and so could Durant. It's happened plenty of times this season. But those are my 3 favorite picks of the day. As always, let me know your favorite picks down below. Let's have a 3-0 day, continue the 6-1 run, and let's absolutely dominate. Tomorrow, we have a full slate of action, so we'll have a ton of picks tomorrow, but stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button. A couple videos pop up on the screen. We'll see you guys in the next one. Go check out that day in the life video. I know you'll like it. It's Austin. I'm signing out. See you in the next one. Peace.